RGIJ is back, baby. Speaking of Carpe Diem, let's talk about what you sent me, man.
Yeah. So what did you think about what I sent?
Well, why don't you tell us what the YouTube was about?
I feel like you didn't watch it, so you're just kind of like, what did you see? And I'll let you know what I saw too.
I did. No. So you go ahead. Give us the synopsis of what the video was about.
So this is a really big video, man. The reason why I shared it with you, I think I shared it. This is my second time sharing with you, I believe.
Yeah.
But this one really, like, it changed my life, man. It really did, and it's really like it has impacted me post military. And it's caused me a little bit of pain going this route, but I really am this kind of person. And so it's a video between, Joe Rogan and Kevin Smith, and it's their first one. So like they've done 3 episodes together. So it's their first one. And it's the one where he's talking about his dad dying, right? So his dad dies and what that meant to him, but also what he does. And it's called like Chasing Whimsies. So if you look up Joe Rogan, Kevin Smith, and Chasing Whimsy, it'll pop up. But really what he's saying on that thing is kind of like, it don't matter what it is, the small, the big, whatever, the little goofy stuff, like just go at it, everything in life, because you're going to end up dying, right? And so that's really what I do with, in a sense of like, if I feel like doing it, if it's like, man, we're doing this, cool, let's do it. Let's go all in. Let's try it out. It's how this podcast became of something like that. Is it making us money? Do we got 6 figures? No. But it's one of those ones where it's like, fuck it. It'd be kind of cool to have our own podcast. Fuck it. Let's go. Mm-hmm. It's like, hey, this would be awesome. Let's try that. Right. Like my really big deal on this one is, getting to that point in life where you're just like, man, any little thing I want to do, man, I don't care what it is. I don't know what my limit is. And that kind of goes back to what I was saying. Like when I went to the Air Force and I did that for that actual thing, I literally, like, I grew up poor. I had no father, single mother, the whole sob story. I had no clue I was talented. I had no clue that I could do things in life. I was a black sheep. I was dyslexic. I thought I was stupid as shit. You know what I mean? Like there was the way I thought of myself was very low. And so when I went to the Air Force boot camp and I found out that I could do more than I thought I was like, I could do more. And then after I hear this one, right? So this is like maybe 2014. I hear this, right? I just started doing that shit, man. I started just chasing every little thing. Any little thing that interests me, I go after it 100%. That's why I do so much shit, is because I really want to get to the point where I really don't know what I'm capable of doing. So I'm always trying to figure out, what can I do? What can I not do?
Yeah, and I'm glad that you sent that to me. I think it was the second time you sent that to me. But it really touched, because I lost my dad back in 1998, and that I felt like Kevin Smith, to where it really opened up my eyes, because he was only 48 when he passed. That to me is young. That's way young. You know what I'm saying? And to see that you can instantly go, that age is not really doesn't play a role in it. Like you don't need to be 80 to know that now you're gonna die. Right. Like tomorrow is not guaranteed. You know what I'm saying? But for me, it really opened up my eyes, because I was like, damn, if this man that I looked at as a hero, immortal, like this man, nothing could touch him, to know that he's gone at such a young age, I was like, I need to take advantage of every day that's given to me. I need to make the most of every day that's given to me. And I think in a way that was like, sort of why I didn't take the school path, because I felt like I was missing out on life. And that's why, like, everything that I've been through, even the downs, like, I still am grateful for everything, because it was things that I wanted to do. It was moments that I seized for myself. And that's why I said, the Carpe Diem is like, seize the day. And that's what I always try to do because of that. You know what I'm saying? And I was grateful that before he passed, like Kevin Smith, I was able to still see him in his bed before he passed. And the crazy thing is, he looked at me, he goes, how long are you here for? And I said, I'm on leave till Monday. And he goes, don't worry, I'm going to pass before then. And I was like, damn, like, and it happened. He passed before my leave finished and everything. But just seeing that was like, I got to live. Like, I can't be worrying about shit. Like, I can't be like, oh, is this going to be good, or is this going to be bad, or, the what if situations or whatnot. Like, if you're going to do something, like you said, do it 110%. Chase that whimsy. You know what I'm saying? Go for it, because at the end, I don't want to regret nothing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to be thinking back in time and be like, man, why I didn't step up to be the NTOIC of fucking console operations? Or why didn't I step up to be the acting superintendent? You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't want to regret none of that stuff. Or why didn't I take the trip to fucking London with my boys to celebrate New Year's versus I was like, no, let me just stay in the dorm. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had to change my mentality, especially being so young, that I was like, I got to go for everything that's going to be given to me. You know? Even now, with school, that was a big culture shock for me. You know, coming out, retiring at 38, and then going back to school at 38. And that was something that I still was hesitant about. Thanks for, you know, family and friend support that kept pushing me and everything. But I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to fucking go back to school and get my fucking degree to show people that I could do it. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people were like, he ain't going to do it. He ain't going to go back to that. You know what I'm saying? Like, he retired. He's not even thinking about school. He's just going to do whatever he wants to do. And I'm like, fuck it. Let me shut these people up to show them that I could fucking get it done. But I also wanted to do it for myself because now I'm thinking resume looks good. It makes me more of a job candidate for things that I want to get into. Plus, I loved what I did in the military. So I was like, why not continue that here? But it was like, dude, go to school, give it 110%, boom, graduate. Now, I'm going for my master's. I'm starting my master's in February.
Oh, nice.
That was another thing. Yeah, that was another thing that, you know, you and I talked about. Am I going to work? You know, I talked about going back to school. And I was like, here and there, you know, I graduated this past May. And I was like, just let me chill for a little bit. Let me do this. And again, talking to friends and everybody else, I'm like, dude, you know what? I still have GI. I still got some money left over. I still get a housing allowance. And I started doing the math, and I was like, dude, this rest of the GI can cover my master's.
Nice.
Why not? Why not seize the moment and let's fucking go for it? So come February of next year, I start the master's program, and you know, and I'm gonna kick its ass, just like the way I focus on my bachelor's. But again, it really touched a lot because I don't think, honestly, a lot of people have that strong will mentality. A lot of people become so complacent that they don't want to go for more. They don't want to do a change. And that was one of my biggest like models when I became an NCO and a supervisor. Like, I know people don't like change, but I like change for the better. Mm-hmm. If you and I could change something and seize it to where it's going to make a difference for us on the positive side, why not go for it? Right. Why the fuck we still want to stay stuck in the same timeline? Why we still want to stay stuck in, oh, that's the way we do it? Fuck that shit, man. You know, from him being like, let me write a movie script. Fuck it, I'm going to write a movie script. You know what? I'm going to start a podcast. Fuck it, I'm going to do a podcast. You know, instead of thinking about but if I do it, this might happen, that might happen. Cross that bridge when it comes. Yep. Go for it now. Seize the moment now. Chase that fucking whimsy now. And you'd be surprised because, like you said, I didn't have the confidence until basic training showed me. Now, as you live life, especially real estate, getting your FAA license for the drone, you know, all that stuff is scary because you don't know what the fuck the outcome gonna be. But if your mindset is negative to where you're like, I'm scared, I don't want to do it, you will never know. And then here you are 10 years from now, you're gonna be like, fuck, I regret not doing the drone. Yeah. I regret not fucking doing the real estate. I regret not going into and I don't want regrets. I want to be able to say, God forbid, the day that I die, that I lived the life because that's the way Izzy wanted to live life. Right. And he has no fucking regrets, no apologies, no nothing. Like I said, even my negative, even my downs, my DUI and everything else, that to me, I found positive through it because it was a life lesson learned. It taught me not to fucking be dumb like that ever again. But, you know, everything to me, I would never, you know how some people would ask if you could go back in time, what would you change? I wouldn't change shit. I'll let it flow the same fucking way that it did. But I really, you know, that really was special because it was coming from a guy who is a genius in Hollywood. You know what I'm saying? Like, the movies that he's done, Clerks, you know, fucking Silent Bob and all this other stuff, even the podcast with the Comic Con and all that stuff. Like, to him be real in that moment, you know what I'm saying? Like, to still let people know that, dude, I'm a human being just like you guys. I go through the same emotions just like you guys. I deal with the same dilemma. I could be fired just like you guys. People don't have to pick my movies up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll have downs. You know what I'm saying? But at the same token, like you guys, I'm going to fucking go for it. You know what I'm saying? And he's in a harder world because, you know, Hollywood is like, if you don't make it, what the fuck you going to do? You know what I'm saying? Everybody strives for that fame. And if you don't get that fame, I mean, how many people that we could say, where are they now? You know what I'm saying? They were a hit in the 90s, but where the fuck are they now? You know? But at least he's like, fuck it, man. I'm not going to let them dictate how the fuck I should live my life. Just like me, I'm not going to let nobody dictate how I'm going to live my life. If I want to go for my doctorates after I finish my master's, Izzy's going to go for his doctorates after his master's. And nobody's going to tell me shit because that's what I want to do, you know?
Yeah, I think
It was touching, though, man. It was really powerful.
Yeah, I mean that's why it changed my life in a sense because I just started doing that. It wasn't one of those ones where I was just like okay, cool, man. Any little thing, and I've done some things really small. I've done a lot of things, but it's on my cue, man. It's on my world. It's on my time. And after being in the military for so long, you really lose a lot of your freedom. So I was like, man, I gotta take advantage of this now. So that's why now, like, okay, cool. I'm gonna get into IT. I'm gonna get these certificates. I'm gonna get this degree. Cool. Oh, guess what? I'm gonna switch gears and I'm gonna go do real estate. And a lot of people think I'm crazy, and I understand where they're coming from. It's a little rash, but it's like, fuck it, man. Like, why not? Like, we don't know. You have no idea the opportunity that waits you whenever you just do something. Because, I was talking to my wife about this. Like, one of my goals is to get a rental property back in Okinawa, Japan, right? Where she's from. We live there. We miss it. Like, we want to go back there, but we want to have a rental property there. We want to have a vacation home. And I was telling her, like, it's on my vision board. And I was like, somehow, I don't know how, but I just know that there's going to be a person I meet and that's going to connect me right there. I just don't know it yet. I haven't met that person yet, or I haven't become that person. But whenever it falls in line, it's because it went through this opportunity, that opportunity, this. You know what I mean? It's like all these things lined up because you took it. You know what I mean? And I know some people, because I've had some people too, like, hey, I want to do a podcast, and they don't execute. It's just one of those ones where it's like, hey, it's cool. And like, hey man, like, we don't get paid for this shit. We don't do it. It's like,
Right.
I again, I've had maybe 2 people comment like that. That's about it. Really? Nothing. There's nobody sitting there saying, hey, here's this. I don't get that. But it wasn't for them either. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of things where people are going to, like, I found, man, like, to this day, for my real estate shit, there's some people who have never commented one time. But if I talk to them on the phone, they've been aware of what I've been doing, right? They don't ever like shit. They don't ever comment on it. None of that shit. But they're aware of it. Dude, like, I could be so upset at them and be like, why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you blowing my stuff up? It's like, nah, man, like, it was never meant for you. Like, this is for me. This is to see what I'm capable of doing and pushing it to the new max. The person I am this year and the person last year are 2 different people. And it's all because, like, anything you do, no one is ever really going to be telling you, hey, man, good fucking job, man, great at it. And if they are, those are the people that are doing the same exact thing as you are. That's the only reason why it's the only reason why they can sit there and applaud you, is because they're doing something else exactly the same. But I mean, shit, anytime you're doing anything, it's like nobody fucking ever gives you a pat on the back, like, because they're not supposed to. And I think if we do, right, if we wish that people would pat us on the back, like, they're not, man. Like, again, I do so much shit. I'm so much on social media, and I've had no family member really tell me shit. No one said, hey, great job. Everyone's like, are you still in real estate? Are you still doing that thing? And it's like, Jesus, man, I'm on fucking line 20. We're on there a lot. We're always posting some shit about real estate.
Yeah.
And then they'll tell me, like, are you still doing that thing? Like, Jesus, man. Like, but it's okay though, man. It wasn't for them. Like, never once was it for them. You know what I mean? And I think that's the part of it too, is anytime you decide to do anything, if you're wondering how come somebody's saying good job or at it, you just pack it up, man, and go home, because it's not really there. Because there's a lot of times in the morning, daytime, and nighttime when no one's around, you got to do what you got to do. And if you're always looking for someone to pat you on the back and someone always tell you good job, man, oh man, I love what you're doing, because a lot of times that's what people are doing things, is because they want that shit. Hey man, you're doing awesome, and you inspire me. And it's like, nope, we're all alone in this shit, man. We're in the darkness. Like, you and I record this episode, we put it out, cool, man. But ain't nobody coming to us and be like, hey, you guys, I think you got something special. Let's put you on here. Yeah, like, but a lot of times too as well, like I said, like, we've always done it here. We've made plenty of mistakes on this shit. Keep it rolling, man. Why? We just learn from it and just keep on moving forward. Why? Because so many people get stuck in this idea that shit has to be done right, or shit has to look pretty, or this. And it's like, no, man, this shit ain't going to look pretty. You're going to get dirty. You're going to mess up. People might laugh at you. People may not even notice that you made a mistake because they're not even paying attention to work. It doesn't matter. The matter is, at the end of the day, did you look up and did you move forward? Just a little bit. Even if it's a little bit, you'd be fine. But yeah, man, it's that shit is so powerful in a sense. And that's why I really believe in too, man. Like, I like to surround myself with the why nots. Like you, why can I not go? Like, why not? Fuck it, let's go, man. Like,
Yeah.
why can you not go for your master's? And
Right.
the only thing would be like, can you like, what about the pay? Oh, the GI Bill will pay for it. Fuck it, go, man. Like,
Yeah.
what's the outcome? You get more educated. Like, okay,
Yeah.
cool, man. Like, doesn't seem like so bad time. And you know, it could even be like, you know, even we talked about it before. Like, you might find like when you went last time, you found something else you like to do. That could be the exact same thing too as well. Where I think people getting along where they're supposed to be this person. And you know, I've had this thing where I tell people, like, I honestly just look myself in the mirror, and if I'm okay with that, I don't give a flying fuck
Yep.
what you think. Now, my wife, if she was to come and tell me like, hey, I think you know, you're kind of this person, or I think this and that, I'm gonna reflect on it and I'm gonna think about it. But I'm gonna look myself in the mirror, and if I agree with her, then I'll change. If not, hey man, I love you to death. She's my wife. She's my queen. I gotta do what I think is right for me, right? Like, I gotta look myself in the mirror and stand up as a man and sit there and say, I'm going this way. That's happened too. But you know, I would sit there and say, man, there's a lot of people that really think that what you're doing, and I'm not fucking successful. I'm not a millionaire. I'm just a guy who's in the midst of gonna be that, right? Like, in 9 more years, when I hit 45, I am going to be a financial freed. And I'm gonna do whatever the fuck I want to do. And it's gonna be like, why? Because I spent 15, 20 years fucking doing what I wanted to do. Because, you know, I had a cool gig working for the VA, doing IT. Set. Good. Didn't have to learn and one more thing. And was like, I'm gonna go do real estate. Took all my money I had in savings, did all that shit, spent it all, like, doing all those things. And what I found from there was just taking that chance and saying, like, fuck it, I'm gonna gamble on me. I got into videography, which I like. I started being able to start doing those ones. I started seeing my skill develop, right? There's opportunities that have been going down where I can do more video stuff. Because I was in conversations with people about real estate, I now got into options trading, which I really enjoy, which I'm really having fun doing those things. And what you find out is like that's why I say, like, you have no clue where you're going to lead to, because it puts you in different conversations because you're doing different things. And
Right.
so I think, man, that's fucking, I love that you're going back to school, because you could choose to or not to. But the most important part is you honestly could care less what anyone else is saying. You're just going to do it. And it's like, that's what matters in life, is sitting there saying, as a man, I'm going to do this. You can like it, you cannot. You can support me, you cannot support me. I'm still walking across that stage. You just either you're there or you're not.
Yeah, because I had one of my other really good friends. He was in a position where he was doing like emergency management, and his supervisor was like younger than him, but he had a higher degree and things like that. So, you know, for him to get put in like a director position or something like that, you know, they're wanting like a bachelor's, master's type deal. He only has the CCAF. So he texts me, he goes, man, you know, this fucking supervisor, he's all mad, negative. So he was like, you know, in order for me, if I want to, and I was like, well, why don't you apply for a position above her, you know, like be her supervisor? He's like, oh, but you need, you know, the bachelor's, the master's. Then what's stopping you? You know what I'm saying? And I'm grateful now that I can say that, because I'm proof of it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He's my age. Now I can tell him, like, dude, you can do it. Because if I could do it at our age, you can do it at our age. You're a smart dude. You're a smart guy. You know what I'm saying? You're already halfway there, because you got your associates already through the CCAF. You know what I'm saying? Now he's here in Florida. So I was like, dude, you know, go into UCF like I did. Transfer your credits over and just start the process. Again, you have the GI Bill. Financially, you're covered. All it's going to take is for you to take the next steps to fucking seize the moment of you wanting to get your bachelor's. Because what you have over her is 20 years of experience, but that degree is what's holding you back. And unfortunately, your job wants it. But dude, how can you smoke her? Get your fucking degree.
Yeah.
What's 2 years out of the way that they're going to cover your housing? You still got disability. You still got your pension. Your wife still gets an income. So you're good. You got 3 paychecks coming in, plus the housing. Now is going to be 4 paychecks coming in. What's the problem?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But again, the negativity sinks into them. Like, all they see is, oh, forget her. Why she has to be in charge? Why can I not be in charge? All I hear is fucking blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? You're telling me situations to where you could have a remedy for it, which is going back to school, graduate, and then apply. How hard is that?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's like, you know, like Kevin Smith was saying, is quit questioning yourself. You know what I'm saying? Quit fucking being hesitant about it. If you see that in order for you to get a director's position is you need a bachelor, go get the fucking bachelor. If it says you need a master, go get the fucking master. You know, because at the end of the day, when you get that stuff, guess what's gonna happen to you? You're gonna better yourself because now you're in the big slot. You're in the boss supervisory position now. Now you can make things happen versus having somebody dictate to you what needs to happen. Yeah. If you don't like that the person's going like this to you, then change it to where you're the person now going like this to them. And all it takes is for you to go back to school, which you can do. Because I told them, I'm like, I'm proof of it, dude. I'm proof that I went back to school and I did it. You could do the same. There is nothing different between you and I. You and I both retired. You and I both did 20 years. You had to gain a step ahead of me because I had to do my associates. You already have the associates. But what's the problem? We both get sort of the same income. You get more than me because your disability is more. I was like, but there's really no difference between you and I. You know what I'm saying? And you're working. I'm not working, but you're working. So what's the problem?
Yeah.
You know, and it sucks sometimes because a lot of people they do question themselves. But I'm like you. The only person that I need to ask the question to, the only person that I need to know if they wanting to go forward with it, if they want to do it or whatnot, is when I look myself in the mirror. Yeah. When I say, Izzy, we good, and Izzy looks at me back and says, we good, then we good. If Izzy's like, no, let's maybe do something different, let's go this way or that way, okay, then Izzy's gonna go that way. Yeah. But I'm not gonna be like, hey, what do I do? What do I do? Who do I call? Who do I call? No. This person right here has to do whatever is going to be right for their lives. Yeah. Because nobody's living my life. Izzy's living Izzy's life. Yeah. Nobody else is living in my shoes. Nobody's living in my house or anything like that. You have your motives. You have your goals. Not everybody's going to be the same. My motives and my goals are way different from your motives and your goals. You know what I'm saying? Some people want to have money. I want to get my degree. Other people just want to have a job. Everybody's going to be different, but as long as you go for it and you pursue it and you commit to 110%, then what's stopping you? The only worst thing that could happen is they say no. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Or you don't do well in the class. Okay, then I'll drop it and let me go somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? But there's always another avenue that you could take instead of them to just say, no, you're done. No, I'm not done. You can't just tell me I'm done. Who the fuck are you to tell me I'm done? Look at these 10 other doors that I could fucking try to open and go that way. Like you were doing IT for the VA. Yeah, it was a cush job. You probably could have stayed there 30 years just doing trouble tickets or whatever. But you're like, nah, there's more to me than this. I want to do more. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? My boy, the same thing. Oh, my supervisor. Okay, then do more. Get the fuck out of there and go for the big boss position. You know what you need, then do it. You know what I'm saying? Why are you letting this person hold you back because she's telling you no? Get the fuck out of here.
Well, there are some negatives to it, though. And
like
what I mean by that is, like, I think what we're saying sounds great, but it comes at a fucking cost. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And I think that's what, like, I've talked to some people, and some women are kind of like, I wish my husband was this way. I wish my boyfriend was this way. And it's like, this shit comes at a cost, though. My wife has woken up for years with me not there. Gone. I'm already at the gym, working out, doing what I got to do. And then, like, getting home, I'm not home until the sun comes down. I'm literally left before the sun came up, and I'm gone, and I'm coming home after the sun comes down. Why? I'm doing homework. I'm doing these things. I'm doing this. Even now, I'm studying options trading, right? So as they're getting ready for bed, I'm in the computer room. I'm sketching it this morning. I was working on the podcast. I started working on, like, looking at charts and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And that's what I think that's the people that, like, they get into these things and be like, oh, it sounds great to do whatever the fuck you want to do. It is. All right. But and kind of what you're mentioning, like for the VA, we're making decent money. Yeah. So I didn't make a paycheck for 6 months because I'm doing real estate. Mm-hmm. I cleaned out my entire savings. You don't mean like, and I've done it several times where I start from the bottom. Like boom, not happy there, I go somewhere else, and that's why I say that is a negative because you got to know about this shit. It's like like my wife's like, man, like we want to get like Christmas lights on the house. I'm like, well, that's like $300. We don't need that right now, right? Last year we just barely moved, so we didn't do it. This year's like we started a new career, and so I told her like next year we're good because we're not doing anything that I like what I'm doing. We're going that route, but that shit does come at a cost, man. You are going to be alone. I mean, there's things like that. Even what you're doing, shit. You and I are good friends, but I can't help you on that homework. I'm not going to be there to make sure you do. Like I can't, I can't do it. And you don't, and that's the thing though too. Like people don't understand that shit. Like it sounds great, it sounds gravy, but you're gonna be alone a lot more often. You're gonna be, and that's what I think makes you. And so if you're always looking for someone to pat you on the back, this ain't the world. This is not the path for you, because there are going to be a lot of things that you do that only people like congratulate you is on the big day. That's it.
Right.
And even then, they're going to give you barely a high five. Like, you know, how many people were talking shit about you going back to school, and when you graduated, they're not the ones that are cheering for you, ringing a cowbell when they ring like that.
Right.
Like, they're just okay, hey man, congrats, like that. And that's why I think people like, that's what like it gets hurt, is people expect, man, the people that are your biggest credits, they're going to also be your biggest cheerleaders. And the fact is, no one's going to be your cheerleader. You're on your own, man. Like, there's no one going to really be doing this shit. But the great thing about it, though, is if you can learn to live without people saying great job, hey, good job, Izzy, I'm glad you read that assignment, right? Like, imagine if every time you turn in a paperwork and a paper or assignment or some of that stuff, and someone said, hey, good job for showing up. Like, no. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean nothing. You know, even when you're on that stage and you're walking across that stage and those things, people are cheering for you. It's good, but it's like, I'm on my own here. Like, still, you know, you're getting the glory on your own. And so I think that's what a lot of people misunderstand on a lot of these aspects, is they think of this and it's like, man, the people that are going to give you high fives and pat on the backs are probably your loved one, like your spouse, or you know what I mean, so your significant other, or someone really close to you. Other than that, man, other people are really not there at all. It's just a lonely road, and if you're prepared for that, man, you can kill it, because there's so much, like what you're doing now. You're going for your master's. You could decide midway to do something different, and that might be the best decision you ever made in your life. And when you're 85 and you're looking back, because as you and I are looking back at our lives now, you're saying, man, that was a good choice. And even to what you're saying, like a DUI, I'm glad that happened. Why? That was something that, because of that was a pivotal moment. And again, like you and I are saying right now, there's certain things in our life, as you get older, you start sitting there saying, that's it. That fucking pivotal moment did shape this for a lot of things for that. And once you have that in your life, you start understanding, no matter how old you are, like getting your master's is going to be a pivotal moment for you, but you're still older. It's fine though, right? Like it's the next part of your journey. And your master's is not going to be the same experience you had as your bachelor's.
Correct.
Right? It's just not going to be.
Yeah.
But guess what? Like, you're fucking prepared. Like, that means you're going to grow, and you're going to get stronger, you're going to get smarter, you're going to get wiser. And more clearly, you're going to go after what you want.
Right.
And so I think that's what a lot of people have a lot of times understanding when they hear that YouTube. It's very inspiring, right? It's very, and you're like, yeah. And it's like, however, be prepared, man, because when you start chasing your whimsies and you start doing what you want to do, more people are not even going to acknowledge you at all, or they're going to be angry at you because you're doing something they wish they could do, and they don't have the guts to do it. And so you start finding yourself really alone. So I would just sit there and say, man, I love that video. It really did change my life. It really did set things up where I start saying, you know what? Fuck it, man. Anything, little thing we want to do. I don't care how big it is, how small it is, how scary it is. We'll just do it. Yeah. And next thing you know, you and I are like doing a podcast together. Cool, man. Why? It was just a thought, man. And then I talked to you about it, and you're like, I'm down. It's like, cool. And those are the people that I want in my life, that are like, hey, can we do this? Like, fuck it. Let's go. Why not? Like, why not? Right?
Yeah, because for me, I feel like anything that happens to me in my life, it's up to me to make something of it. You know, say that DUI, I could have took it negatively. I could have took it depressed. I could have took it like, yo, this shit sucks. I'm done with the Air Force. You know, because as soon as that target hit me, I lost a lot of people. The people who I thought were loyal to me weren't loyal no more just because of that one mistake. But I took it as, how can I turn this around in the positive, right? And that's what I did, because I finished. I retired, but I learned from it. And I took it as a positive learning tool for me, because it happened to one of my troops again. But I said, calm down. I've been there. We're going to get through this, because I was able to get through it. And I remember the person who stood next to me to help me get through it. And I said to myself, I'm not going to leave you alone. The rest of these people might leave you alone, but I'm not going to leave you alone, because I know how hard that was for me when I went through it. And there was only really one person that stood by me to make sure that I got through it. So I'm going to do the same for you. But I feel like through everything in life, even going after my bachelor's, how are you going to take it, Israel? What are you going to make of it? You know what I'm saying? You could easily fail these classes and say, yo, this is too hard. You know, I'm fucking 38, 39 years old. This is too much for me. I don't fucking remember algebra. And I could have easily quit. But I said, no, fuck it. Let's turn this around and let's make something from it as well. Same thing with the math. Like you said, the math is probably going to be harder, or it could be easier. You know what I'm saying? But it all depends on what I make from it. It's in a way, it's harder because it's just me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have a supporting cast, even though I have my siblings and everything, but they're not taking those tests for me. They're not taking the courses for me and everything else. It's up to me to make sure that I do what I need to do 110% all the time. And you're right. I got those people, if they cheer me, they cheer me not, I could give two shits. Because the only thing that matters is the professor saying, hey, you got an A. Yeah. That's the only thing that matters to me, you know? And that's why I told my buddy, you know, and with his wife, you know, if your job is going to put you where you're not being seen at home, then that's something that you and your spouse need to have that conversation. Yep. You know, because I'm sure you didn't just jump into the job just to jump into it and say, hey, honey, by the way, you're not going to see me every day. You know, when you're in a marriage, you know, that's a team effort now. Now you're communicating as a team. It's not just you and I looking in the mirror and saying, hey, Izzy, Mike, we're going to be working shifts. Okay. We're not going to see your friends. Okay. You know, but this, you have your kids, you have your wife. And like I told him, because he does EOC sometimes, emergency operations sometimes, you know, where he's doing 24-hour ops and his wife's not seeing him only till he comes home at 7 a.m. But they've had the talk. You know, he was like, babe, this job offer came up. It's going to require me to work Monday through Friday, but there's going to be nights where I'm going to be gone because we're standing up the emergency operations. She's like, do you? Got it. Yep. My boy right now just got a new job lined up with 911 where he's doing OPSEC, Operation Security. He's working command post style shifts, 2 days, 2 nights, 3 days off, 2 days off, whatever the case may be. 12-hour shifts. Guess what, honey? That means on Saturday, I'm going to be working 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. You're not going to see me. You know what she said to him? As long as you have a job and it's something that you like to do, go do what you need to do. Because I'll still see you when you come home, and when you have those days off, I still see you. But that was a talk he needed to have. You can't just jump into it and say, yo, I'm going to do this and let it be done because that's something I want to do. Because, you know, marriage is it. For me, it's not. I don't have this. Right. There's no significant other. It's just me. So if Izzy's going to say, you want to do your master's, and I could look in the mirror and say, yeah, let's do the master's, we're going for the fucking master's. Yep. Anything else, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, like you said, that I'm glad that you sent it to me. I'm glad that I reviewed it, and you know, I'm glad that we talk about it because it's definitely a must see for a lot of people, especially this younger generation, to understand that concept, like to go for it. Don't always depend on mommy and daddy. You know, don't always depend on fucking people to direct you or tell you that you need to do it. If it's something that you're really interested in doing, then do it. Just like my nephew right now, he's getting to senior year in high school, and guess what? Colleges are coming. So now you have to decide, what college do I want to do? You know, do I want to go stay in Florida or do I want to go out of state? That's a big decision, you know what I'm saying? And it's something that your parents could tell you, this is my opinion, but at the end of the day, the person who needs to go for it is you. Because that's going to, you're determining how the rest of your life is going to go from here on out at 18 and on. Because do you want to do the school? The course is going to be too hard for the degree you're trying to get into. You know, you've been home most of this time. Your friends are here. Let's say you go to school in Washington, D.C. Are you capable to do that? Are you capable to make that change where you're now going to a different state? You got to know new people, especially that you're not a person that's, when you're out and about, you easily make friends here and there. You know, like it's hard for you to have conversation. Those things are, it's a mind fuck because you're not, it's new to you. And of course you have your parents to help you out and whatnot. But at the end of the day, if that's something that you want to do, go for it. You know, if your school is FSU because, you like the school, your dad went there, it's tradition, whatever the case may be, then go for it, bro. Don't be scared. The only thing I can tell you is don't be scared. That's the only thing I could tell this young generation. Don't be scared to do anything you want to do. Just seek it, go for it, and whatever the outcome is whatever the outcome is. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But yeah, man, I'm really glad we watched that. It was definitely uplifting. Like I said, especially coming from a man who we think is so rich. He's a celebrity, so much fame, but he's so down to earth. Like, he's still a human being. You know what I'm saying? He's still a dude that has ups and downs like everybody else. He's still a dude that, is not always going to be fucking millions of dollars all the time, but is a dude that's living his life because that's the way he wants to live it. That's the bottom line of it. That's what you're going to get from it. You know what I'm saying? Is if this man, as a celebrity, fame and everything else, is doing it because he wants to do it, why can't we? Yeah. Why can't we all be Kevin Smith? Yeah. What's stopping us from being Kevin Smith?
And that's what I sit there and say, like, man, it's great, but it does come at a cost, man. And that's the thing that people don't really understand. Because when you're speaking about the wife, like, yeah, man. That's why like we had those conversations, and we talked about it. We did recently we had a date night, so we did our vision boards.
Yep.
And that's where it comes to, and it's like, hey, man, I just look at her, so they're saying like, all right, and she knows it. You know, like after you've been a while, you're like, yeah, you're waking up at this time. You're like, there. I wake up first thing in the morning. I wake up. There's no one else.
Right.
You know what I mean? And there were plenty of nights they went to sleep, and I'm up studying.
Right.
Like, I still got a job. I still got to work 8 hours. You know, and it's like, and you still got to have someone take care of the family. So it does become that. But at the same time frame, you know, there are. And because of this one, and I say there's more downsides than there are upsides because there's more sacrifice.
Right.
My daughter still asks me, "Are you going to come to this?" Even though every time I've never missed anything, but she still feels like, "Hey, why?" Because that's what happens. There's plenty of times she's woken up and I'm doing homework. Hey, can we go do this? I got to write a paper. Hey, I got this to do, and I got this to do, and it comes at a cost. And that's why I'm really big on saying the cost, because a lot of people think that, hey, I'm just going to be doing this one and it's great and it's gravy. And it's like, nope, it comes at a cost. You're going to spend a lot of time by yourself. And if you're okay with that, it's going to be a good time because you're going to learn so much about yourself.
Yeah.
But if you need someone to always tell you what good job you're doing, man, this is not the lifestyle for you because you're going to wake up by yourself. You're going to have to get yourself going because, again, you know, I do have the wife and kids, but a lot of times the daughter's like, can we do this one? I'm like, not until I get this done. Or, hey, I can play with you for 5 minutes. We're going to go play outside for 5-10 minutes. And then I'm back inside doing this. And it comes at a cost, man. It is what it is, man. She's going to grow up that way. She's going to grow up knowing that there were times where I just wasn't available because I'm doing this. She got off of school. She gets to eat dinner, and I'm coming home and eat dinner. She gets to tell me about her day, and guess what? We're going right to bed because it's already time for bed. Why?
Yeah.
I got to wake up again the next day. Like, hey, it's a Sunday. It's a Friday. I got to wake up early because I got to write a paper. It is what it is. And, you know, I think like that stuff is, but at the same time frame, man, that's why, like, when we had first talk, you're like, you're doing all these things. Like, yeah, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm doing, like, are you getting tired? I love it. Why? Yeah. Because it's on my own accord, man. It's like, I get to live the life I want to live. And by the time it's all over, by the time it's all said and done, I'd rather be that person who's sitting there saying, like, yeah, I did that. Like, how was it? I didn't really like it. Like, really? Yeah, I tried it for a couple of years. It wasn't really me. Oh, okay, cool. What about IT? I liked IT. I made really good money with IT. What happened? I got bored. Like, so you just quit because you're bored? Like, yeah. Why? Like, I just wasn't happy. And they're like, kind of that thing of kind of like, I'm chasing my happiness. And I'm chasing this thing. Well, why'd you do this one? Just because I thought there was an issue with it and I thought I could fix it. Or, like this podcast. Why'd you do a podcast? I thought everybody was always talking about the military, these fancy, like, these people. A lot of us are not that way, man. We're just regular guys. So I wanted to create something for that. It comes to those things all the time. And I think that's what's great about this world. And that's what I really, truly love is, man, you can do whatever the fuck you want to do, man. Like he says, it's short of like hurting people, cool. But man, if you want to go out there and just like study animals, there's somebody already doing that and making money off of that, providing for their family. Why can't you? Shit, man. Like, why not? Like, there's anything you look at, I'm probably sure if you do enough research, you'll find there's somebody who's already been the first to do it. So you don't even have to create it. That's the crazier part. You just have to follow their path. Kind of like we're sitting there saying, like, I have this job. I won't get this promotion, so I get this. Dude, you have the easiest gig in the world. You just follow the ladder. That's it. Like, shit's really not that hard. You're not coming with this thing of like, well, shit, should I get like a physics degree? Like, you're not writing these things. And so I think that's a lot of times that people have problems with is they're trying to create something brand new and sitting there saying, like, more than likely, the shit's already written for you. If you want to be good at something else, there's somebody who's really good at it. Just follow what they do. Follow what time they wake up, what books they're reading. And I mean, that's really true though. Like, and that's I started doing that too, where I started getting successful with people. They're like, hey, I wake up at this time. I just started waking up at that time. Why? I don't know. Like, I'm just going to start waking up at that time. Hey, these people read this amount of books. Guess what I'm going to be doing? Reading books. Why? You need to be educated. You need to understand different parts of the world and da-da-da-da. And it's like, well, how'd you come up with this one? Like, I watched a couple videos. One of them was Kevin Smith. I just started doing what I wanted to do. I've watched like some other ones. And when you watch them now, you're sitting there saying, "Oh, that's what it was." Like, I just followed what they said. I didn't even come up with this. It wasn't even my own idea of chasing Whimsies. Literally, a guy put out a video 7 years ago. I watched it and took it to heart and just started doing that shit. Like, simple. So I really think that's what it is, man. And again, I just wanted to share that shit because that really is a pivotal moment in my life. Like, things change to the point now. Like, I do random shit all the time. And it's really because of that. I told my wife, and she's like, "That's you." And I was like, "Yeah." Like, but it's fun. Like, life is fun when you're doing what you want to do. Life sucks when you're doing what everyone wants you to do and you're not happy. You know what I mean? Like we're watching a movie like this movie, and that's all it was people were trying to like. It's just, and it baffles my mind. Like, how can you do something you don't like to do? It's like, well, I don't like doing this. I'm like, okay, why don't you change it? Well, I gotta do this. Like, it's not even. We're not even coming up with the answers here. I'm just looking at you and be like, why don't you do that then? Like,
right.
Why not? You know what I mean? And sometimes, like, seriously, you can talk to people and they can tell you your problems. A lot of times you tell them why not. They'll tell you the answer with the why not. Why not? Yeah. Like, well, I would need to do this. Why not? Like, well, I'm going to have this issue. Why not? And you're like, dude, I'm a therapist, legit, by just saying why not. Because you have to, like, you're trying to argue it and you know it's a possibility. And instead of saying why not, because, like, honestly, I'm scared. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's when they're honest with themselves, that's when they really find the root of what needs to change.
Yep.
Because a lot of time people just like to deflect. They don't really want to say, I'm scared, or I don't know how to do that, or where do I get started with this, or how do I build a resume? You know, instead of just being truthful about it, they'll deflect and say, oh, because then this is going to happen or that's going to happen. Dude, stop deflecting. Just be honest with yourself. If you know you can make the change, don't be scared to make the changes. Just do it. I mean, and you know, I understand where you're coming with the cost, you know, because you sacrifice and everything else. But I feel like with the cost will be a great reward. You know, your daughter will learn that even though you didn't give her much playing time or whatnot, when she gets into that adulthood and is working and she has to sacrifice work and school, she's going to look back and be like, now I know why dad was sacrificing all this to do the term paper, to, you know, play with me for 5 minutes, but then say, I got to read this book for school and everything else. Those are all lessons. To me, I feel like it's all life lessons. Like how I told you, my nephew in the letters now writing. Thank you. Thank you for talking to me about money. Thank you for talking to me about what basic training was going to be like. Thank you for putting me in ROTC so I could get a step ahead. You know, like all of those life lessons, even though they were like, I know. All of that now is coming into play. As they get into the adult world, they're going to be like, fuck, why didn't I buy a car instead of spending $300 tickets on EDC? Because now I'm going to need a car. You know, all those life lessons will come out. Even if they do follow through or they don't, there's going to be some scenario that's going to come up. They'll be like, damn, fucking my pops and uncle told me about that. You know, your daughter's going to go, damn, my dad did tell me, you know, fucking sacrifice. Or why I'm not investing my money in this. Why am I not putting my money here or there? Just like you said, she's learning to be patient. Already the life lessons are kicking in. Because I'm understanding if I rush the money, I'm not going to get the new toy that comes out next week. Or I'm not going to get the PS6 that comes out next year because I already spent money on the PS5 instead of waiting. You know what I'm saying? Those, to me, I feel like there is a cost. There's a lot of sacrifice, especially when you're a family, when you have kids, spouse, and everything else. But those, to me, are your biggest supporters. You know, those are your true loyal fans for you. You know what I'm saying? Those are the ones that want to see daddy and mommy succeed. And then to reciprocate that, you want to see your children succeed. Yeah. You don't know how big it is for parents when they see their kids graduating high school. Not getting a GED, getting their high school diploma, or seeing their kids be like, Ma, I want to go to college. You know what I'm saying? The fact that you even said you want to continue on, that's a big, like, thank God, because I've been telling you since freshman year, we got to stick with your GPA, get good grades, because college is going to come through. We want to make sure we get you in a good college. Life lessons coming all through that. You know what I'm saying? Again, cost, but for me is the reward, because what happens when I finish my master's, that opens up more job opportunity for me. You know what I'm saying? Now I could start looking at director positions. I could start looking at top tier supervisory positions versus just starting GS7 type deal. You know what I'm saying? Start looking for big contracting jobs and everything else. Because now I'm so diversified in my background. I have a BA in this. I have an MA in that. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna come for me full circle where the reward. I'm gonna sacrifice a lot of sleepless nights. I'm going to sacrifice not being able to hang out with my friends over the weekend because I got a fucking 10-page, 20-page paper to write. But at the end of the day, that graduation day is going to come. And all those missing out, those hangouts, those party nights and not getting drunk and fucking hangovers, all of that will make up when I fucking get that fucking diploma. Yeah. Like I always told my niece and nephew, the fun will always be there. Do get yourself financially stable, get your education, get yourself on the right foot. You know, get yourself a good job if you could get one. But the fun will always be there. So if your friends are like, yo, let's get fucking drunk tonight, and you know you have an assignment due the next day, you could put that drunk night on hold. There's going to be many drunk nights, many parties, many everything else. I wish I would have listened to that when I first started. Yeah. But again, I have no regrets. But
yeah, man, like I said, it's dope, man. Well, shit. On that note, we'll go ahead and kick it off, and until next weekend, brother.
yes, bro.